Yes, sir.
Yep.
What's up, gentlemen?
What's going on, boys?
Just a little walkthrough.
Welcome to H&S, guys. Sorry for the technical issues we had for a few minutes there.
You know how it goes with internet servers. Sometimes they just go down.
Stuff crashes, but we dealt with it. We're back up and rolling. Glad to have you with us.
Anyways, welcome to our shop. I'm going to walk you around, kind of show you what we're working on, give you a little insight on this LML, what we're building, a few other projects that we got going on, meet some of the guys behind the scenes that are working on it. So walk you around a little bit.
As you can see, they're still rolling on putting stuff together. We are still getting some test fitting, final plumbing, all the turbos going back in right now. Zane and Peyton are working hard on it.
Yep, we got Zane here. Zane's the man. We got Peyton. Both these guys have been the muscle behind this project, so they're the guys that know all about it. They're still working on a few things. We're going to walk around, show you a couple other projects that we got going. Let them maybe tidy this up for a second. We'll come back to this, give you a parts list, breakdown, everything that's on this, so you can get excited about it. So,
you guys want to see the shop? Sure.
We got the 2013 Ford. We released tuning for this a couple weeks ago. This has been a huge seller for us. Everyone's been dying for 13s ever since they picked them up at their dealership. Great truck. The tuning is excellent. Bentley spent a lot of time tuning this, and so far nothing but great reviews on it. Right now
we're just fitting our new dash pod up on this one, making sure the fit, finish, colors all good on this one. So that's why it's in the shop.
Ford, they like to change things up on us every year, make us make new parts, keep us busy, things like that. Late nights, keep us away from the women at night. But
yeah, if you guys haven't seen the new dashes in the 13 Ford, come check it out. They're cool. They've redone the entire navigation system to where it's got this nice fancy touchscreen. If you check it out, you can actually put your own pictures in there. Of course, we've got an H&S background on ours, but we love this 13 Ford.
Totally redid it. Gives you a lot better view of the navigation. Seats are a lot more comfortable. I didn't like the camo seats in the 11 to 12s, but I went more to a classic look on the leather this year. So definitely a nice truck, and these things just rip. Street tuners are selling like crazy for this truck right now. So everyone was dying for a little bit of power, and we gave it to them. So
right over here behind you, we got our brand new 13 Cummins. It's obviously torn down a little bit right now. We're looking into the ECM, trying to get some tuning going on it. Not a whole lot's happened with it yet, but of course we're working on it.
Yep. Of course, Cummins, same thing. They changed ECMs again on us this year. They went to the CM2350, which is a Cummins ECM, and it's just starting from scratch again. Cracking it open, working on it. You know, it's what keeps us busy. So
you probably all recognize this truck. Didn't do so hot at the Texas race last weekend, but you know what? We're hoping to get some good times here shortly on the, we're going to TS in a couple weeks. So if you guys are there, we'll see you there for sure.
The input shaft just snapped in half, sheared it. What was the
It ended up being right when the torque converter locked up, or actually it was the 1-2 shift that did it. He had first gear, torque converter locked was fine. As soon as it went into the second gear shift, that thing just snapped clean off.
Yep. So, what are we running, 120 pounds of boost at that point?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he already made between, he was only about 30 feet into the run, he was almost 100 pounds of boost already. So it definitely was putting some torque through it.
And what's the spec? Brian told us what the spec is on that input shaft.
Those input shafts, I want to say about 3,000 foot-pounds of torque. So when it made that shift, it hit a quick torque number, and it
clean
snapped
shear. It looked like a razor blade cut it in half. So you know that this thing's making a little bit of torque out of the hole. So
yeah, if you guys haven't seen under the hood, you should for sure come check it out.
Yeah, check this out.
This way.
You know, Brian of Brian's Truck Shop helped us out on the transmission on this. We've got the 4R100 in it, and so far it's the only thing that we've put in it that's been able to handle the torque.
It'll take it.
This thing is just a torque monster, and out of the hole is ridiculous. And Brian's done an excellent job. I mean, last year, we run probably 30, 40 passes on one transmission. Pulled it apart, and the clutches were absolutely pristine. So
yeah, Peyton does all the tuning, our driver. He tunes it with the PCS controller, and it just, I mean, it does what we tell it, and we love it.
Yep. So. A lot of people ask when we go out to the races, well, you know, who does the engine tuning? Obviously, we can't get what you guys have. Well, not true. Peyton tunes this with off-the-shelf MCC software. We've got the little logo there, max calibration control. Anybody can buy that. Anybody can get the exact same tuning that we have. Yep. Peyton drives it. He knows what it needs. He toys with it after every race, and it's not something that you just can't get. You know, some of these big race crews, they're running prototype stuff you can't buy for 4, 5, 6 years. Everything on this you can buy off the shelf.
You guys have everything we have.
And do it. So we've had excellent support from all of our sponsors this year, and we're hoping to get into the 8s with this truck. So as long as it holds together.
I guess while we're over here, we got Zane's fun toy. I'm sure a lot of you guys recognize this one. It's been sitting here for a while. We tried to run it at RMR last year at the end of the season. Had some transmission issues on it, but this year I'm trying to talk Zane into letting us throw in a 6.7 Ford Power Stroke in this one. I'm sure you guys would like to see that. Zane's back there. Yeah!
Side note, we are starting the bidding at about 30 grand for this motor package.
If anyone wants to buy it.
Anybody wants the turbos and motors, let's talk about this thing. So
we think this would be a fun little platform to throw the new Power Stroke in. Yeah. We obviously know it can make power since our last breaking point, so
yeah,
if we put that in this chassis,
yep, think we can have a good solid 9-second low 10 truck if we throw a 6.7 Scorpion in this thing. So just another fun project.
List of things to do here at H&S.
Check out the Peyton's handiwork here. You know, the cool thing about this truck is Peyton and Zane have built this thing from the ground up. Peyton was really the guy that started this. Zane helped him finish it off with turbos and dial in wastegates and things like that. Zane built up the motor for us the last time, but really Peyton's kind of built this truck from the ground up, drives it, tunes it, builds it. So
I mean, as you can see, it's not thrown together quickly. Every piece is fit and finished like we want it to be a show piece, you know?
Yep.
It's not thrown together like a lot of race trucks you see out there.
Yep. Not only does it work, but it looks pretty. If anybody knows Peyton out there, you'll know that it's going to be polished up and it's going to be right. So yeah, fun truck. What else we got in the shop?
Working on the 2011 Ford. Zane's working on the 2011 right now. You guys saw for the breaking point. We're doing some more final fitting for new parts from H&S Motorsports. He's doing some more turbo fitment, stuff like that.
Yep.
So that's why this one's in here.
So just to fill everybody in from the last breaking point that may be tuning in or didn't catch the video of, this truck made a ton of power, started slipping the transmission. That's really the only reason that we couldn't break it. Breaking point is all about finding where the stock internals on this motor are going to fail, and we couldn't do it. I mean, we made 884,
1650 or something foot-pounds of torque, and that's where it killed the tranny. As soon as the torque shot up, that thing just ripped through the trans.
Yep.
And
so, you know, it slipped it didn't break it. We think that if we could have held together, we could have made 1,000 horsepower on the transmission. Yeah. So we've got Clint up at ATS building a transmission for us. Hopefully we can get it back, get this thing back on the rollers again for breaking point, see if we can explode it.
No, we'd love to see over 1,000 horse on the stock bottom end on this truck. It'd be awesome.
Absolutely. You know, the reason that we do these is we don't like hearing rumors of what these trucks will build and what they'll break at. Ever since we tuned the first 6.7 and it got released, they said, oh, you build 600 horse and the rods are toast. Turbo won't do this, you know, the crank won't hold this. So we never bought it. Everybody's been throwing a turbo on there, been breaking them at 650 horse multiple times. So we're pretty proud that, you know, we got almost to 890 basically, and the thing held together. So Ford did an excellent job building that engine, and for their first time out, I don't think you can fault anything about it. So
yeah, we love to see things firsthand. We've been told numerous times, you can't do this, you shouldn't do that, but you know what? Until we do it and know, we're not gonna trust that.
Our whole company was built on the fact that we bought a 6.7 Dodge in 07, and everyone said you can't tune it, you can't put exhaust on it, you can't tune it, you can't do anything. So that's what we did, and that's kind of the whole MO of the company is let's find what somebody can't do and see if we can do it. So
we love it.
We get to play around in the shop all the time, and it's pretty much we love what we do.
Car.
We'll get a sneak peek of this.
Of course, the 6.4s are always in the shop, right? No, no.
We're not going to tell you much about this one. Just give you a little sneak peek about it. We're not going to tell you what's going in it. We're not going to tell you what we're doing with it. But just look for it here in the next couple of months.
We were hoping to have it ready for TS, but it looks like we may be later in the season or even next season before we're done. We just got too many projects going on, but we're excited to see this thing go down the track again. Last time we went down the track had a 7.3 power stroke, and we're hoping to get a little fresh motor in her. No more 7.3.
We're waiting for an engine builder to finish up a little machine work on this thing, and we might have to find a new guy if he's not going to do it for us, but you know who you are. But
I'm sure you're watching. Get this thing done, will you?
We're waiting for it, so don't make us call somebody else. Check out the
warehouse.
Check out the dyno bay.
Yeah, sure. We got some fun projects today. Let's go that way so they can follow us.
I'll cruise over to the dyno shop. All right. Well, we got one of our good friends and customers in with his truck.
Brad from G&J Diesel.
He's had a couple issues with it.
Looks like he's in there now.
There's Brad himself. Brought it in to throw it on the rollers and do a little repair work and tuning.
Say hello, Brad. Hello. So Brad's just been in here for the last couple days getting some tuning done. He was having a couple little issues on the truck, some leaks, some RPM issues. We're going to go through and help him and see if we can get this thing back to where he needs to be this season to win it again, right? Champion from last year.
Champion from last year.
That's right.
Yep. Doing a LBZ to LMM ECM swap.
Right.
So
using MCC tuning.
Yep. He's been MCC tuning it, getting some RPM out of it. It's been running awesome on the dyno. I think they got all the quirks out of it, and
it's been fun.
Just got to fix boost leaks.
Yeah, Brad's been camping in a parking lot, so we offered to get him a room, but he wants to camp here. I don't know why. Yeah, sure.
But you know how it is. There's always one thing breaking. You fix one, and something else goes. So that's racing. Glad to have Brad down, and we'll get some good video of this thing.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys will see more of this truck once we're all done with it. We'll get some videos and some pictures of it.
Yep.
Some real tires on it. Yeah.
So once that thing back together, look for some video in the next couple days. Thanks, Brad. Little fabrication area. This is where Zane and Peyton like to hang out.
A lot of welding, grinding, and cutting right here in this corner. That's where they build everything.
You know, the fun thing about our shop is that, yeah, we mainly do tuning, but we started from a background of repair shops and performance shops, and so everything we do is in-house, from lift kits to wheels and tires to fabricating turbo kits. Anything we do is all just one-off here. In fact, I don't know if you can see it. The background, we just bought another CNC mill and a lathe, so we can do a little more prototyping and get things done a little faster, but everything we do is in-house. So,
yep. I'll show you guys a little bit of the warehouse back here. This is just a lot of storage. As you can see, new stuff we got coming in to put in the shop. All of our products in there. Inventory we save for cardboard and foam for boxing, and just a little bit of anything and everything. Golf carts, go-karts, four-wheelers.
It's kind of the boneyard back on here. The section up there further is all the inventory. You can see some guys building some parts upstairs. This is the stuff that
you can see guys up there right now. That's where they build the tuning devices are getting assembled up there in that room.
All the guys you never see.
4 or 5 guys up there just going to town putting stuff together.
So if you got enough to get over here, here's the fun stuff. Cord? So maybe you guys have seen it. If you've bought a street tuner, you know that we're giving away a Razer this year. Basically how it works, buy a Razer, register your tuner online, hsperformance.com, and you will be entered to win a new Razer. Now the cool thing is not only are you going to win a Razer, that the dealer that you bought it from is also going to win a Razer. So how it'll work, we'll draw one name out at the end of the year, and it's going to be at Fall Fuel Fest 2013, and it looks like it's going to be in November this year. So you got some time to get entered, but we're going to draw one name out of all the people that registered. Whoever they bought their tuner from is also going to win a Razer. So it's another incentive to buy from who you like, buy from your friends. Remember to register your tuner and
yeah, we just barely got these the last couple days. They pulled up. Polaris helped us out a little bit. They're sponsoring the event for us and helping us get these. They're obviously not going to stay totally stock. We're hoping to be able to wrap them just like, as you can see this one right here.
So look over here. This one's a little bit more tricked. We got suspension. We got a wrap. We got a roof, doors. This one's got full stereo. Wet Sounds helped us out, sponsored us on that, gave us a bunch of gear. HCR helped us out with the suspension on that. got all kinds of parts. This thing will probably be, I'm going to guess, a $35,000 Razer by the time it's all said and done, and that's what we're going to be giving away. So don't think you're getting a stock one. That's just not what we do here. Stock is not good enough.
Stock is not good. It's not enough. Now we'll go walk a little further into the warehouse so you guys can see a little bit of what goes on. Is anyone out here? See if anyone's out here running the forklift. Looks like they're done.
Nothing fancy. We're kind of on the lunch break hour. So we'll walk around and meet you guys over on the other side. Definitely looks like lunchtime in here. I'm ready for some lunch.
Yeah.
All right, so
let's talk the LML. I'm sure that's why you're all here. Let's talk about what we got going on.
Let's go ask Zane a couple questions because, you know, typical Zane, he doesn't say a lot. He just will sneak a few things in on you here and there, and you just have to figure it out later. So let's talk. What looks like you're putting a turbo on.
Yeah.
So obviously we're gonna have a little more airflow than stock. What size turbo you got?
That's about an 80 millimeter. Blows about 1700 CFM air. Should be good for around 900 horsepower.
Plenty of air.
Zane knows a couple of turbo builders that hooked us up with a little one-off here that we think is going to be just right for this application. So
yeah, if any of you have ever heard of Pius, he knows his turbo stuff. So that's who helps us out with some of our projects.
So we've heard a lot on these trucks that once you throw another turbo on there, they build a lot of back pressure on top of the factory turbo. So what? How are you going to get around that?
Well, Bentley will control the vanes on the turbo a little bit on the gate or on the VGT turbo, and then we've actually got a divorced wastegate back there that will avert the gases into the atmosphere charger.
Oh, cool. So we're going to spool it with everything that's getting wastegated?
Should spool up lightning quick and then be able to get rid of the back pressure on the top end. So you kind of have the best of both worlds.
Oh, perfect. Now so how are you going to fuel this thing? You got bigger injectors? Are they stock? Or
Oh, no. No, they're stock.
Stock.
We've got a dual high-pressure fuel pump kit on it.
Okay.
H&S Motorsports developed. And
Perfect. So we should be able to get plenty of fuel to it.
Yep.
And we estimate fueling, what, 900,000 horse on fuel?
So we got the stock CP4, and then you're adding a CP3 on top, correct? And is it a stock CP3 or is it modified?
Stock.
Stock, okay.
This is the same fueling setup we ran on the 2011 Ford, and obviously it made 880, so we know we're capable of that on fuel.
Yep, so we got plenty of fuel. Looks like we're gonna have plenty of air. How are we gonna hold the power? The last one we talked about, transmission just wouldn't hold.
We know we've already had issues on this. As soon as we put the twin fuelers on there, we started slipping the transmission a little bit, so we made a quick phone call to Clint up at ATS. He said, send that bad boy up. He took care of us. Stage 5, torque converter, valve body, everything's done in the transmission from ATS.
Carbon clutches.
Clutches, yep, everything.
Upgraded valve body. Supposedly this thing is gonna hold some power. So
yeah, we knew that would be the weak link, so we took care of that right out of the gate. ATS hooked us up.
And we've seen a lot of questions. We ask on Facebook, you know, which one's going to make more power. We're not trying to compare exact parts to exact parts because, you know, quite frankly, the trucks are different enough we could never do a direct comparison. So our goal is let's find out where the stock internals will break at, and whether we got to throw a turbo, a transmission, fuel system, whatever that is, we want to know where that rod bends. We want to put a piston out the side of this thing. Let's blow it up. Let's have oil spraying coolant everywhere, and let's have a big boom. I mean, Zane doesn't want to hear that, but you know that's what puts people in the seats, I think.
It is apples to apples, you know. The 6.7 and this truck got the exact same fuel injectors in it.
Yep,
that's true. Fuel system's the same.
Fuel system is the same.
Pretty close on turbos. I think that really we should be pretty heads up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, the transmission obviously is built where the Ford's not, but to me the test is for the engine and not the transmission. So
exactly.
Right here we have got the best looking BMF wheels you've ever seen. Oh, wait, they didn't show up yet. Somebody down at BMF might have had happy hour a little bit early, but I'm told they'll be here today or tomorrow. So when you see this thing on the rollers, it better have some good looking BMF wheels on it. So Blake over there hooked us up with some wheels, so we got to give him a little bit of crap, right?
What else we got?
What else we got? We got an air dog on this. What do we got for fuel supply?
It does have air dog too. DF165 on this for the lift pump. Definitely going to need that to run the twin fuelers on it.
I think Anthony sponsor this truck?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
so got to thank AirDog for giving us some fuel supply. All you guys know that are watching, I mean, it's really no secret that they don't have any pickup supply on this, so we made sure that we've got plenty of flow to the high pressure pump, so AirDog on there will definitely solve that problem. So
as far as tuning on this one, it is running some beta MCC software we're developing right now for the LML. So that's where me and Zane have been working a little bit with Peyton and getting the tuning done to run the pumps and everything we need for that. So expect to see the MCC software out for this truck pretty soon.
I think that's been our biggest question on Facebook. Our tech support, our email guys are always taking questions of when is MCC for LML? Well, here's the prototype, guys. Let's see what it does. There's still a lot of tweaking left to do, a lot of tables to add, but the basics are there, the shell's there, and these guys are utilizing it right now, and we're gonna see what it can do. So look for it very soon. So little solenoid under there. What do you think you got going on there, Zane? A couple of blue solenoids over there?
Oh yeah, just in case we need a little more air.
We think we've got enough air to make some damage just with air, but just in case that's not enough, Zane decided to put a couple of big shots of nitrous on there.
So the Ford, we ran out of air a little bit. I think we had plenty of fuel, so we were spraying with NOS. And again, it's not fuel only. We're not drag racing. We're not trying to be in a certain class. If we have to throw NOS at it, we'll throw NOS at it. It really doesn't matter. We had a lot of people kind of complaining last time, well, it's not a true test because you use NOS. Well, power's power, horsepower, no matter how we get it.
We're making it.
You know, we're not trying to set any records with fuel only runs. So we're attempting to go fuel only, but if we need a little bit of shot of
we're going to make a
gas in the
show,
arm,
regardless. We're going to make it a show. So
yep. See if
we hit that point and it won't blow up, we'll try and throw more at it with the nitrous.
I see a couple solenoids under there, so it looks like we should have plenty of fuel. We might have to get Scuba Steve over there off the race truck and bolt a couple on the back of there, but I think Zane will pretty much do anything to blow this up.
Yeah, it looks like these guys are about ready to start it up and get going, so we are excited for you guys to
hang around for a minute, you might get to see the first fire.
Well, I don't know if we want to do that.
Or don't.
All right, guys, well, they're going to button this up. We're going to head out of here, get a couple of things done, get ready for Thursday. We need to get Brad's truck off the rollers, get him all buttoned up. But
yeah, we've got a couple late nights yet to get this thing finished. So
yeah, as always to the last minute. There's no such thing as sitting around waiting for an event, waiting for a race. If any of you guys know, if you race, you know exactly how it goes. There's something to do to the very last second. So we're going to work on this. We'll come back at you guys on Thursday and hopefully put on a big show and see some big boom and some fireworks. So
thanks for joining us.
See you then.